I love symbols. They explain things, they tell stories, and they represent ideas. They have the power to bring a nation together or tear them apart. I'm only 17 and I've seen many symbols in my lifetime. Everywhere I go I see them, all meaning different things, some less important and impactful than others. And I've come to realize that everyone is striving to collect these symbols, while others are trying to create them. It's amazing how symbols can affect us subconsciously. Symbols subconsciously affect the way we think, the decisions we make, and what motivates us. So the power of a symbol. Here's an example. Right now we're in school. Our whole goal in school is to achieve a diploma. What does it symbolize? It symbolizes success, that you're smart, and that you have the ability to learn. Because hey, with a diploma, it's easier to get a job. In high school, whether it's university, a diploma will help you make money. And we are taught that school is everything. We dedicate ourselves to 12 years of elementary and high school, and then go to another 4 to 8 years in university, depending on what field you're going into. And that's the power of a symbol, education. We're all motivated to achieve our diplomas. Now, I'm not disagreeing with school. I love it, but it's a lot of time spent trying to learn how someone else was taught. I want you to imagine this for a moment. You've applied to 4 colleges, and so far you've been rejected by 3. It's your last letter. Dear Fred, we regret to inform you. You don't need to read it anymore. You know exactly what it says. It says you're a loser. How else can you interpret it? This has happened to many students, and Fred Bernat is no exception. He was rejected from all 4 of his colleges, so he then went into teaching in the States, making little to no money. And he invested all he had into a small store that he founded called Daddy's Junkie Music Store. It was one of 11,000 music stores in the States, and it grew to being the 15th largest. During this experience, he would think, how is this possible? Don't they know that I finished in the bottom of my class, not being accepted in college? Millions of kids drop out of high school. 7,000 drop out today, and every day. Now this is including the US in these statistics, not just Canada. Canada, we have higher staying in school rates, but in the States, it's a lot higher, like dropout rates. So his quote is, school has taught me that I'm not very bright, but life has taught me that I'm wrong. And that was Fred. And there's a quote that Albert Einstein once said, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then it will live its life thinking it's stupid. So just remember that school doesn't determine your entire future. So that's him. I think he went on to branch out to 20 different stores in the States. Started from his own, and now he's like a millionaire. So Steve Jobs was the book that I read, and I have a video of him. Sam.
So the thing I would say is, when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, you can push in, something will pop out the other side. You could change it. You could mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
So Steve Jobs passed away in 2011, and that's how he wanted to live his life. He envisioned his life to be more than what others saw it. So with that, he dropped out of college after 6 months of attending Reed College in Portland, Oregon, and he spent the next 18 months dropping in on creative classes. Some courses include calligraphy, and he continued attending classes at Reed while sleeping on the floors of friends' dorm rooms, collecting Coke bottles for food money, and getting free weekly meals at the local Hirsch Temple, which is like a small restaurant. So after dropping out of college, no one thought that he would be able to be successful, but he only made $1 a year from Apple. That was his salary. And he held over 5.5 million Apple shares, which are now worth $2.1 billion. And his net value is at 8.3 billion, which is how much you're worth. That's a lot of money for someone that just dropped out of college. The next symbol I want to talk about is money. It's a symbol, and it's one of the most influential symbols of all time. We need it, but why do we need it? It symbolizes success and wealth, and it allows us to do things. But it also symbolizes poverty and homelessness. It's a very powerful symbol, and with it, you're seen as someone, and without it, you're seen as someone without a purpose and someone who isn't worth anything. We need it for everything, and we need it to obtain other symbols, and once we achieve these symbols, we feel a sense of accomplishment and that our lives are complete. Both symbols of school and money are symbols of motivation. We use them to strive for higher, to achieve more. Now, on a more serious note, there are negative symbols, and kind of like fear. This is how one nation kind of got to power in World War II. So this is a Nazi symbol. And from growing up, I've seen this symbol many times. Now the meaning of the symbol is different based on how it's written. The form here is a Nazi symbol, which means everything Nazi stood for. And then if you write it differently, it also means peace in Chinese, I believe. So, at this time, it was a sign of hope for Germany, after everything was taken away from them. So they worked hard, and they kept working for the future that they hoped. And they rebelled, and this is the symbol that Hitler used to rebel with. And as a nation, they came together to break free of what they were. But now, through history and the events that occurred around it, is a symbol of destruction and power, and it's taught us that everything can be affected by anyone. So that was the vision of one. So the movie I chose, or the multimedia thing that I chose, was the movie V for Vendetta. And V for Vendetta, which is set in London in the near future, and V, who is as a symbol. And then, I don't know if you can see it, but he's represented with the mask over here. And a symbol is more meaningful than just a person. I mean, if you look at Nazis right now, you just look at, well, not right now, but back then, you just relate them to the symbol instead of just the thing. So, and I have a movie clip from it. Alright, once it loads. But this was a speech that he made out.
And all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent. Inspector, we're almost through. Last night, I sought to end that silence. Last night, I destroyed the Old Bailey to remind this country of what it has forgotten. More than 400 years ago, a great citizen wished to embed the 5th of November forever in our memory. His hope was to remind the world that fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. So if you see nothing, if the crimes of this government remain unknown to you, then I would suggest that you allow the 5th of November to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from tonight, outside the gates of Parliament, and together we shall give them a 5th of November that shall never, ever be forgotten.
Alright, to put into context, in London at the time is kind of like a communist where the government is trying to control everyone. And he is rebelling against them. Rebelling against them to try to create a revolution that will break London free of that guy right there. And his symbol is the double cross. So, in the video, he only shows his mask, which can change an entire nation. It's the same concept as a flag, so that there's no one person behind it. It's everyone can be it. So, it's amazing how a symbol can affect us subconsciously. Whether we're trying to achieve a diploma or make a living, symbols can subconsciously affect the way we think, the decisions we make,